Through tons of twisted metal, they search. There are still people missing, presumed dead, under this rubble. Russia denies it carried out the strike on the Kremenchuk shopping centre. Instead, it says it hit a nearby warehouse storing Western weapons and ammunition, which sparked a fire that spread to the mall. But investigators on the ground say they believe this was a deliberate attack on civilians.
It's a question about crimes against humanity. I think it's like systematical shelling civilian infrastructure with which aim to scare people, to kill people, to make terror in our cities and villages.
In local hospitals, the injured are still trying to process what happened.
The feeling I had was as if I was flying somewhere. I flew ahead first, splinters and shrapnels were hitting my body. The whole place was collapsing, exploding. Then I landed on the floor and I don't know if I was conscious or unconscious.
I saw lots of wounded people, burned people. Some were covered in blood. One girl fell down and we helped pull her along. She kept falling and losing consciousness.
The number of Russian strikes on civilian targets away from the front line appears to have intensified in recent days. This school in Kharkiv is among the latest to be struck. The British Ministry of Defence has described the recent activity as an unusually intense wave of shelling. Russia says the West is partly to blame.
The more they pump weapons into Ukraine, the longer this conflict will last, and the longer the agony of the Nazi regime, which is supported by the Western capitals, will continue.
Despite the intensifying onslaught, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky released this video to mark Constitution Day in Ukraine. He's vowing to fight for every metre of his nation's land.
Our future generations have rights. Our generation has no right to give up. The enemy will not be able to realise the force with which we are ready to fight for our rights and freedoms. He who does not have it himself will never deprive others of it. That is why victory is inevitable for us.
But right now, victory seems a long way off for Ukraine and its people who are exhausted by this war. And as mourning Ukrainians pay tribute to the latest victims, they're reminded of just how big a toll this conflict is having. Sarah Morris, TRT World.